Hello, Suppoman's Mastermind group. I'm Justas Pikelis, the co-founder of Manitha, business lead of Manitha, and I'm really excited that I got so many questions from your group. Thanks for the interest. We're overwhelmed. We got a really nice feedback, and looking at every comment that you have, trying to answer as much as possible, but there were so many of them that we decided to have a kind of FAQ session. And if you saw, the admin of the group put in the spreadsheet, put in the form in which we saw the questions, and we selected actually I think 15 questions that were the most common and that we would like to answer for your kind of questions and concerns and the interests of Manitha. So without further ado, let's go and answer the questions. So the first question is the hard cap and the max token supply. So we released a hard cap on Friday. It is 95,000 Ether, and the max token supply is 402,400,000 tokens. So this was done, the hard cap was done by calculating what is the market, what is kind of the placement of the market, and taking a look how much money would we need to build a global company to kind of kickstart our development. The soft cap is 7 million, and up until the soft cap, we reach the soft cap, there is a 20% incentive for the early contributors. So we were tracking the Ethereum prices, trying to forecast what might be the price of Ethereum on the 31st of August. Of course, it's really hard to forecast this, but structuring and accumulating all this data led us to the decision of doing the 95,000 Ether max cap, and we believe that we really want to make this token sale fair, not too greedy, not to do 100 million, 50 million hard cap. We believe that this in dollars, we believe that this hard cap will be structured the way that people would still have a need in the aftermarket, and our main goal, both for our company and the investors, is to raise the price of the token. So let's go to the second question, which is, do you have any place to have a Manitha integration with e-commerce platforms such as BigCommerce, Shopify, and Magento? So definitely that is in our plans. First of all, what we want to do is collect merchants, small to medium-sized merchants, one by one, to hear their feedback, hear their opinions, and structure our product around their demand. This is the most important thing. That only then we can scale. Scaling by doing manual things, by doing the things that don't scale. And after that, we already have a partnership with website automatic builder, chatbot builder, which is called Webs, and we're seeking for more and more these kind of partnerships with platforms who have hundreds, sometimes even thousands of e-commerce stores, which you can instantly have an access to. So after that, after having more and more traction, we're definitely looking at integrating with platforms like Shopify, which would bring a huge scale. At the moment, we integrated with WooCommerce, Magento, and we also built a solution for custom-built e-commerce sites. So this is our MVP, which lets merchants accept Ether together with the first version of decentralized trust and reputation system. So the third question comes, and it is, do you need to register for the ICO? So no prior registration will be needed, but there's definitely definitely going to be a very simple basic form in which you would have to put in your name, email, and this kind of information before investing. Just a very simple KYC, and so no prior registration would be needed. So the fourth question is, what is the exact time on the 31st of August for the ICO start? It is 3 p.m. London time, 31st of August. The fifth question is, how are you going to convince the pop and mom shop to use your product, even they don't know about crypto money? So this is the question where definitely we have an answer to, which is we really are looking at the, let's say, the very first moment of developing Moneta is to create a solution which would let us do transactions from fiat to fiat under the Ethereum blockchain. So even let's say in a pop and mom shop that somebody buys, let's say donuts with their credit card, we would be processing their payments through Ethereum blockchain, and together with that, implementing the decentralized trust and reputation system. So that is not, something of what we were afraid of. Is not cryptocurrency is not getting the worldwide adoption, even if that wouldn't happen, which we will believe that eventually it will. But even if that wouldn't happen, we still are looking at the solution of fiat to fiat transaction, because that would be like a holy grail of adoption, and the customers would pay that without even knowing that they're using Moneta, but the merchants would benefit highly from this with eliminating all the unnecessary intermediaries and giving them the benefits of decentralized trust and reputation system. The next question is, where can I get the token now? There is no option for that. There is no opportunity to do that. No pre-sale. Everything is being done on the 31st of August. First come, first served. Anyone that wants to get in will get in. You just have to be really, really fast. The next question is, will Moneta be able to work or adapt with the current point of sale systems that restaurants or other vendors use on a daily basis? So this is kind of a question that was already answered previously. So that fiat to fiat solution would be something that would definitely help us do that. And also extra to that, our last development goal, which is on our 7 million soft cap, is that we will integrate with retail. If you want to read more about it, there's a lot of information in the white paper, but just to let you know, integration with First Data and let's say Revel systems would be something of our milestones to broadly scale Moneta, not only in e-commerce but also in retail. Next question: how easy will it be to pay with Moneta at a store? So as easy as in e-commerce. You just select your favorite cryptocurrency wallet. That could be it could be Moneta. It could be, like, say, for example, Jax or Coinbase, and you will be able to just pay that simply by scanning QR code. Mobile payments is something that we truly believe in. That's why our go-to-market, one of the go-to-markets, let's say, or the first go-to-market is Asia, where, for example, in China, there's 50 times more mobile transactions than in US. They kind of firstly adopting this technology and understanding the benefits of mobile payments. So simply scanning QR code, transaction is made, and voila. Next question is, what are your strategies to convince the current users of diverse merchant services to switch to Moneta? So there are, let's say, three main pillars that we want to show as a unique value proposition to merchants. So the first one is cheap transaction fee, 1.5% that we're taking from the merchants, and just to kind of remind you that a third of that goes into our voucher pool for our token holders. The second one is fast transaction settlement fee. And the third one is, and the largest we would say, is the decentralized trust and reputation system. We believe that this will be such a solution that will be loved by small to medium-sized merchants, and this is something that they were, after us doing a lot of interviews and research, this is something that they've been looking for a long time, something that would give them a huge growth of their reputation, because every transaction will be tied to a trust rating. Okay, the next question is, some of the point of sale system come completely integrated: computer, merchant services, feed, credit card holders, scanners, and barcodes. What hardware does Moneta what hardware Moneta will provide the merchants to be able to accept payments. So no hardware will be necessary. Our main goal for this kind of adoption is integrating with systems like, as I mentioned previously, First Data and let's say Revel systems or Harbor. How fast will you deposit the money into a merchant's account? So this is, of course, depends on the scalability of the Ethereum. At the moment, the transaction settlement time takes from about 30 seconds to 2 minutes on average. It could take a little bit less, it could take a little bit more, but this is kind of the average at the moment. But we're, of course, believing in Moneta in Ethereum, that they will solve the scalability problem with state channel technology. Even if that wouldn't happen, we consider ourselves as a blockchain agnostic, which means whichever blockchain will have a solution for the scalability problems, that's definitely a blockchain that we're going to use. One of them could be, Tezos, EOS. We're definitely giving ourselves the flexibility of our technology to be able to switch to other blockchain if that is necessary, if for some reason Ethereum will not be able to have a solution for the scalability problem. All right, the next question is, what is the big difference with your competitors? So this is the question that we get asked a lot, and we're trying to answer that in blogs. There are 2 separate blogs which provide this information. From how we're different from 10x, Monaco, and Token Card, let's say, and other, let's say, payment ICOs to decentralized trust and reputation. And this is something that I want to highlight. No other project has payments together with decentralized reputation system. And our DTRS, just an acronym of Decentralized Trust and Reputation System, is the highest value for the merchants. And that is not only our kind of hypothesis, but this is something that we understood by working with merchants, by interviewing them, and for them to have a reputation and being able not only to have efficient payments, but collect their reputation and not be, let's say, forced to use centralized marketplace, which is just essentially a race to the bottom in terms of price, like Alibaba or eBay, which doesn't let you to go out of their ecosystem, which means their reputation is not transferable. And Moneta's DTRS will be definitely transferable. So, for example, a merchant who is trustable, even if he opens, let's say, a new store or sells, let's say, on a different platform, not, let's say, WooCommerce, but he switches, let's say, to Shopify, he will still be able to have his reputation. So this is the biggest difference comparing to our competitors. Next question is, how can you prevent of making multiple fake accounts to manipulate the ratings? This is a really good question, and this has both sides. So for the merchants, they will have to go through their screening process, not only proving the legitimacy of their business, not only proving that they have the best interest to participate in trustful commerce, but also provide their information, like their legal entity name. So for example, it's not easy to switch to a new entity and do this kind of manipulation. When it comes to customers, we're looking forward to collecting as much data as possible to recognize the fraudulent activities and fraudulent behaviors from the users, and then not letting them use Moneta. That is the whole decentralized trust and reputation. That's how DTRS works. And also, a merchant will have an opportunity to select which customers' payments he wants to accept. So that is one thing that is really important to implement, where the merchant will, for example, let's say he will select that if a customer has less than 2.5% rating, he will not be able to do the transaction. And this is something that we do not worry too much about. Firstly, because every rating will be tied to a payment, so fraudulent activity will be reduced automatically with this. And the second thing is that customers, the customers' way is, because the settlement is really fast of the payment. There will be not a lot of time and possibility to kind of do fraudulent payments. All right, this next question is, when is expected Moneta to hit the exchanges and which ones first? So we're forecasting and being really realistic about this. We're looking at from 2 to 4 weeks to hit the exchanges. That's definitely at least one of them is going to be a major one. We're already in talks. I cannot name names just because this is not a finished deal, but definitely from 2 to 4 weeks, major exchange. And we're also looking at the local exchanges, which are based in China and Australia, etc. So our main interest is, of course, for our token holders to have a high price of MTH token, and this can only be achieved if the liquidity will be possible, which is being provided by the exchange. Is there a lockup period for tokens purchased during the ICO? No. So the tokens purchased in ICO will be released immediately, and they will not be locked. And the only locked tokens will be the Teams tokens, which is going to be locked for 12 months. What would you say is the most important thing that Moneta will bring to the table? So we already talked about the decentralized trust and reputation system and the efficient payment processor, but without doing that, I would say the main thing is structured in 2 ways. The first way would be our vision and the determination to reach the goal of fiat to fiat transactions through the Ethereum blockchain. This will be a huge game changer, which would bring humongous revenues for Moneta. But also, we're looking at this as a regular, let's say, business, as a startup, as believing that the only way to succeed is to build the fundamentals to the business. That's why we have a really strong team. That's why we believe that, we don't want to have a huge hard cap, because this is where we believe that token is a fundamental of the company's success, that it's only better to raise the price of the token and then being able to, let's say, individually have another funding round for Moneta after 12 months. So 2 ways how I would say is Moneta, how it's different from other competitors is the fiat to fiat solution, and the kind of philosophy of Moneta that is traditional business kind of philosophy. And the last question is, where did Justas get the turtleneck? I want one of those. So this is being referred to our main introductional video of Moneta, where I wear a turtleneck. A lot of them got, a lot of people got a reference thought of a reference of Steve Jobs, but at that day I just had a sore throat. That's why I wore that. But you'll be able to buy that with Moneta, I promise you. But I think I bought it at Marks and Spencer or H&M. So with this kind of a positive note, I really want to thank you for all of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to write us on our Slack or Telegram. We're answering in really rapid and extensive way, and we are really happy for all the support that we're getting in the Suppoman's Mastermind group, and I want to wish you a very nice day. Thank you once again, and bye-bye.